What's up guys, SanChan Man here. Now, are you ready for my first ever anime review? Neither am I, good to know. So today on the menu is Re:Zero Kara Hije... Re:Zero Kara Hajimero's Isekai Saikatsu. This is not going well. So today on the menu is a wonderful show we like to call Re:Zero. So, this show has been all over the anime community for the past 2 seasons. So, the question remains, is it a good show? Is it worth the hype? Is it contender for Anime of the Year? I have no idea, but what I do know is how I feel about the show. So why don't we get started? So, Re:Zero. Initially, when I was looking at all the shows for the spring season to see what I would watch, I saw Re:Zero and I was like, wow, another stuck in a video game anime. Nope. And so I didn't watch it at first. But then everyone's just like, oh, you gotta watch it. Oh, it's so good. So I was like, well, I guess I have to watch it now. And yeah, it was pretty damn good, I have to say. But if you ask me if I was obsessed with it, I would say no. But I feel like the main reason behind that was that the first episode was spoiled for me. The thing is, I like to go into a show without any prior knowledge, so that I don't have any preconceived ideas or any bias towards it or anything, just to see what I find. You know, sometimes I'm terribly horrified, other times I'm pleasantly surprised, and sometimes I am very glad and super amazed. So, just depends. With this show though, it definitely got me obsessed with it eventually, but it's also not perfect. So let's get into that. So with Re:Zero, story-wise, I think this is probably the weakest part of this show. Now, it's not bad by any means of the word. In general, the plot is very good, it's very entertaining, it keeps you into it. It's just that it's kind of generic. Classic hero's journey, getting the girl, all that good stuff. But again, that's not a bad thing because Boku no Hero Academia is very much traditional shonen, and it's still a really good show. So it's all about execution. And Re:Zero did pretty good execution. However, I will say there are a few problems with it. I think the main problem we have with Re:Zero is how it was adapted. Now, I don't know anything about the source material, the light novels. And so I don't know what order it was in, how different it was to the anime and whatnot, but knowing it was an adaptation, there was definitely at least some changes done, either in the order or in like what happened, etc. So I think the main problem is how they adapted it, because especially in retrospect, when you think about the arcs and stuff, they seem a little disconnected, or at least they don't flow. Where it's like, one arc seems like we're going in one direction, but then we don't go that direction. And I think it's mainly because this show is very much character oriented rather than plot oriented. So basically, instead of say following this arc and going to where the plot is going towards, the show prefers to go towards the character development, where the character is going, their development is going. There are moments where the character development is prioritized over the plot development, and so that kind of hurts the pacing. I think Wilhelm's arc was way too long. I mean, that could have been way shorter and have the same effect. But I will say that this show has some amazing directing. I mean, there are a few exceptions where it's like, why did they do that? But overall, it is very good. They definitely took risks. I mean, one of my favorite shots I've ever seen is I think it was episode 13, where basically Subaru is just, you know, crouched down and he's like being frozen, and the snow's hitting him, and then his head just falls off, and that was fantastic. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. So now we move on to characters. You've already been hearing me saying about how this is a character-oriented show, and damn, it is. This is by far the best part of this show, is the character development. Now, what makes this show different from a lot of other anime is that not only does it develop the girls, which every anime does, and the supporting leads, it also really, really hones in on Subaru, our main protagonist, which is really rare in anime today, at least the ones I watch, where the main character has a ton of character development. Not even just like there are some main characters that have a good amount of it, but Subaru here just has, they really focus in on his development, and basically the entire show is surrounded around him and his development. So I think that this show really did a good job with that. And again, it's not perfect, and it's not the most unique or revolutionary thing in the world, but it's just really nice to see that much development, especially for the main character, because it's really lacking these days in a lot of anime. And again, the reason why this doesn't get a perfect score is because usually a really good anime will not only have good character development, but balance it out with really good plot development. And I think this show has good plot development, but the character development took away from the plot a little bit. But I still think it is very good, and I really appreciate that about this show. So next up we have animation and sound, which I don't really know much about animation. It was pretty good. Don't really have any complaints. The visuals were fantastic, directing amazing. So we have that. And then of course in the sound department, very good as well. I really like the soundtrack. It supported the show really well and really went with what was going on. Oh, and of course the OPs were fantastic. I mean, the visuals were really good. But the songs were also pretty good as well, especially with the first OP. So, in general conclusion, is Re:Zero worth the hype? I think the way I was enjoying the show was sort of like very much fluctuating. At first I was like, this is pretty good, and then I was like, damn, this is amazing, and then I was like, this kind of sucks now, and then I was like, oh, it's amazing. It's sort of inconsistent quality. Like, there are some amazing parts of the show where it's just like some of the best things I've ever seen in anime, and there's other moments where it's just like, why, what, I don't know what's going on, why, what happened. So, you know, it's a little bit inconsistent, unfortunately, which to me makes it not so much a top 5 anymore, more like a top 10. But I think one of the main things that really gets people with this show is, in my personal opinion, as a creator, I think even if you're not the most talented person when you're creating something, as long as you put a lot of passion into it, it'll be great. It may not be the most perfect thing in the world, but it'll be good and people will like it. And Re:Zero definitely showed that. I could see the passion in it. You know? It's kind of weird, I guess, but whatever. You just could see the passion. See it. I mean, I don't know, it's just, you could tell the creators just really love it. And you can't make anything good without passion into it. And so I think, if nothing else, the creators put their blood, sweat, and tears in it, and it really showed. And I think that's why people really enjoy this show. And I appreciate that as a fellow creator myself. Now, for my rating system, because you see, I have to be unique somehow. So, I decided to make my rating system as accurate as possible. A lot of people don't use that anymore, but I think that having a number out there just helps people give a general idea of where the show is. So I tried to make it so that it would be more accurate, but again, it's still biased personally, and there's no way you can't be biased, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to write this somewhere, or make a video explaining it or something. So now let's get all the sections together and all the ratings and calculate it. We have to add in my personal enjoyment, because in the end, the point of any sort of entertainment is to entertain. So that should be a big part of the rating. So with all that calculating, the final score for Re:Zero is an 8.47 out of 10. Very good show, and it's definitely worth the watch, but it's not a masterpiece per se. There's just things that are missing, and things that could have been better, but definitely a very recommendable show. SanChan stamp approved. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Let me know what you guys think, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe. That subscriber count needs some love, so it'd be great if you could do that. And let me know what you guys think I could do better and all that. And hopefully I'll be back again soon with more content. Until then, I'll see you guys later. SanChan out.